is
What is that? Nginx? Is
Nginx
it
is
like a
a kind of
database?
server. So that's not
Oh,
AWS concept. The way you have Tomcat and everything, right? Nginx is kind of server. So
oh,
usually nowadays that use like React.js projects and all, they are hosting on Nginx.
correct. How does that relates to Terraform? Like,
How
see,
does
some of the
that
I
relate to
see that Terraform with Nginx. That's what I was confused. Like, I know Bamboo is similar to Chef, or
Bamboo is similar to Chef? Yeah, that's also an infrastructure provisioning tool.
okay. So, is there any relation with Terraform to Nginx? Unless we need to host the web server, is that's where their concept? Or
Yeah, yes, yes, that's it. Terraform to Nginx. I'm not very sure if Nginx has any what do you say,
the plugins?
like no, no, yeah, maybe the plugins or maybe like the Salesforce and all, they provide this software as a service, right? Or platform as a service. I don't know if Nginx has its own cloud platform where
Okay.
Terraform might be helping. We'll have to look into that. But
Yep. Yep. Yep.
as far
Yep.
as AWS is concerned, there is no direct link. So
Oh,
it
okay.
unless and until you deploy one Nginx server on so it may be like let's say you have a how to suppose let's say you have a Tomcat server Tomcat installation. Similarly, if you have Nginx installation and you write Terraform code to do that on a EC2 or something like that, that may be one probability. Or
Uh,
other maybe I'm not very aware if there is any service model by Nginx. We'll have to look into it if they
yep.
provide
Yep.
any
Yep.
platform as a service or something.
Right. Right.
If
Yeah. I was
that is the
just
case,
curious
then
because when the people ask about it, maybe I'm just thinking, yeah. Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah,
Because I
if
see that people are using Terraform with Nginx. Maybe they just want to provision. That's what it is. So,
or else we'll have to check if as I said, if Nginx has any provides any platform as a service or software as a service, they provide that.
yeah,
Let's say you host your application on Nginx cloud. If they have something like that, I'm not sure about that. Then
yeah.
Terraform might be supporting that. We'll have to look into it.
Yep, yep, yep.
As far
Thanks.
as AWS goes, and as far as AWS goes, I am not, I have not heard of any such service.
Yeah.
It's installation on EC2 or something like that only. Or
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay, I'll try to get some information from my side on this one, and I'll try to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing. Okay. So Anand, did you get the resources and everything which I shared yesterday?
Oh, I
I had shared with
didn't.
the
Is it?
support people.
Do I get like email? I don't. I didn't receive any
No,
email.
no,
Do I get
you
email?
have a portal or somewhere, right? They upload
Oh,
it.
okay,
What,
okay. I
what
will
I
look into
I
that.
cannot
Yeah,
email you directly. So what I do is I share with the support people and
correct.
they upload those
Okay, so okay, probably
to your
I can reach out to them. I don't want to take your time on that, but yeah, once you upload it, I can get it. Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully
Fine.
it's easy. I can reach out to them and they might give an URL to me.
Yeah, yeah, great. Okay, I'll share my screen. Let's start because I'm not sure I may get a call today and will have to drop in between because
No
the things
problem.
have
Yeah, please.
escalated a
That's
little
what I told
bad.
you, right? Yeah, feel comfortable. If you don't want, we'll continue tomorrow. It's up to you because sometimes
No,
it's
no, no.
after the
Unless
long
and until
weekend.
I get a call, we can continue. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Let's do it. In case
Yeah,
I get a call in between, I have to
yeah.
drop off because and then
Yep.
someone from my team itself has messed up.
Yeah,
So me
yeah,
being the lead, I
yeah,
need to get
yeah,
onto the call.
yeah. No
They're
problem.
trying to fix it, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Sometimes people emphasize on RCA, why it was missed and all,
Yeah, yeah,
rather than going for fix. So that is a trouble. So team is fixing the thing. I think
yeah.
by tonight the things would be
No,
over.
it
But again,
happened
for this
even
root
the
cause
last
analysis and all,
Thursday.
need to get into
Last
call with
Thursday to
management. That's a
me.
big headache.
Yeah, last Thursday, what happened? We are giving an deny permission on root level, and on the
Mm,
folder level we grant the permissions in IAM, right? In S3, right? Usually that's how we do. And what happens, we manage the Terraform to for all the
Yeah.
bucket permissioning and everything. What we one of the my team member, he denied to the root level for a non-secure bucket. See, we have a secure bucket and non-secure bucket. For the secure buckets
Yeah.
only, the root level is not allowed. But what by mistake what he did, even for non-secure bucket, he deny on the root level. So
Hmm.
and then whatever he did on the other thing, but that impacted to the other projects because the other projects are using the same bucket, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because you put a deny on the root bucket, other
Root level.
projects
Yeah.
messed up, and I approved it because usually we get like in the Git we get an approvals, right? I approved the
Ah,
code.
correct.
Yeah, that went to
Oh.
deployed and whole messed up. By the time they realize, it's almost like a 4 or 5 hours.
Ah.
What went wrong? No changes we implemented. Our team is doing good.
Hmm.
No code changes. Everything went bad. Then they figure it out. It messed up at the root level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are
So yeah,
troubles.
because even we didn't think that it's going to impact such a huge mistake because it's a huge impact, right? Because all the projects
Yeah,
end
yeah.
up with the root.
Shared buckets will trouble you a lot if there are
Yeah,
multiple projects sharing their
correct. So we manage like a data lake bucket
bucket
that
with their.
used by all the 200 business units. That's how our system is working.
Hmm.
So it's like so it was, sometimes it
My God.
happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I understand that.
cool.
Yes.
You can share
Okay.
screen and we'll go ahead.
So, Anand, as we discussed last time, can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Anand?
Yes. Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. So as
Yes.
we
Yeah.
discussed last time, like let me give you what are the things which are pending. Okay. So today we would discuss project structure. Okay, a decent project structure, how to do that, and then we'll do a demo. We'll make this. It will be completely free. Okay, we'll do the demo. Once that is done, then we will start about some very important resources which we use. Okay, so what I have planned is we'll be using AWS VPC, EC2, EBS block, RDS for the database, IAM of course will be covering, load balancer will be covering, and cloud concepts which will be covering. Okay, but let me do one thing. You have a lot of S3, right? I know we have covered S3 in details, but let me just put S3 also somewhere here before, so that you are interested in lifecycle policies and everything, right? So let's
Yeah.
take a
Yeah.
look. Let me put S3 also. Certain things will do in S3. Okay, so these will be covering. Once this is done, we would be done with our entire training part. We would do one more. Last session would be a demo, a small project we'll do, a web kind of project where we deploy the resources required for a particular website hosting, simple static website hosting will do, and then we'll deploy all required resources and we'll see that in action, and then we'll destroy that, and then the training would be over. So basically, if I don't get a call today, all things go as planned. So we would cover project structure and the project structure demo. Okay, then these may take 2 odd sessions. Okay, mostly 2 to 3 sessions. We'll cover
Yeah.
all the resources, and then the last one session would be enough in case we roll over another 1 hour session. So in total, one, including today's session, one, these I told 2 sessions, right? Two, three, and 4 to 5 sessions we would be done. Okay,
Yeah. Cool.
you hear me, Anand?
Yeah.
Hello.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's start with the project structure thing. I don't know how much time we can do this. Yeah. Okay. So, yep. Why do we need a decent project structure? Okay.
In
Usually
which
to follow
ones
good
are you
program.
sharing screen?
Yeah, can't you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, let me stop and reshare in that case.
Not now, yes.
Okay, great. Fine. So let's discuss. Okay. So as I said, like, why do we need a good project structure? Good project structure is needed to follow the best programming practices and to take the advantage of code reusability, and we avoid writing the same code time and again, so there is an avoidance in redundancy, and more you write, there is a probability of injecting more errors, right? Human errors kind will be there. Like, let's say we have a probability of 1% error, then every 100 lines of code I would do one mistake. So if I don't follow this reusability thing and I repeat those 100 lines of code 5 times, so I would have a probability of having 5 errors. But whereas if I go for a reusability, then that reduces my error probability. And moreover, if there is an error, then fixing at one place may help solve the issue at multiple places. Okay, so that's something a good project structure does to us, following the good programming practices. So for this, for having a good project structure in Terraform, the proper execution of modules is very necessary, because this modular programming is the backbone for a good project structure. Okay,
Yep.
so that is the thing which promotes the reusability and everything, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and also, if there is a big project and you split that into modules and multiple small services, in that case it helps you to promote working in an agile way. So what we do in an agile way, okay, earlier in a waterfall model, what you used to do is you go big bang, right? You have your entire infrastructure in front of you, you code everything together, and then you do testing and all. But nowadays it's not happening. You develop and deliver a small chunk, then things get on adding to it. Okay, you show it to your client or you show it to the stakeholders, then they approve it, they suggest some changes, then you take another story, you add certain more bit, and you add certain more bit, like that it will go on. So if we
Mhm.
break down into smaller services, let's say in my first sprint I have to set up the VPC. Okay, so within the modules, I would only keep a separate directory for VPC. Let's say for VPC subnet, there are two things which are needed for my first sprint. So only the network setup. So I would create a module for VPC. I'll create a module for subnet. Okay. Then from my development, in my development, I would call those modules, and first sprint, I have my network ready. I have my VPC, subnet, NACL, and all whatever we have created. Now you come to the second sprint. So you have a EC2 added. So you create another module for EC2. Okay, you create a reusable configuration for EC2. Then you go to your development. Okay, there you add the EC2 module and execute your Terraform. So your EC2 would come up. So this way, what we are doing is, instead of
One
setting up
second.
the entire,
I think this 1 second. I think the screen share got disappeared again.
oh, what's happening today? I don't know.
I think
Let me check.
something
I
is.
think the network looks good from my end. That is no problem. This is strange. Let me just do a quick network check from my end if something is wrong. Okay, you still don't see the screen, Anand?
Mm, Nope.
No? Then give me a moment, please. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't see yet.
Give me a moment. Let me change the network from my end. It's all good, but let me still try. This is strange because if there is a network issue, you would not be able to hear me also.
Let
You
me
would hear
log
me
back
very.
in. I don't know
Yeah.
whether it is, even when I go to meeting, I can see now.
Okay, great. I don't know. Maybe there is some software issue.
Yep.
Okay, like from the meeting side. I don't know. Like my network looks good. Fine. So let me. Okay, what we were discussing. Yeah. So agile way. Okay, yeah, so what I was saying is, now if we break down the project into smaller modules and all, then smaller directories, small for every component and all, then we can work on in an agile way. Like every sprint we go on adding the required resources. The sprint zero can be setting up your network resources like VPC and everything, where you create your modules for your VPC, and then you go ahead in your development in your development or production environment, you go ahead and set up your network entities or your network resources. Then next sprint you can go ahead and start creating your EC2 instances or your database instances. You create a modular programming for that, like you create the reusable modules for EC2 and all, and then you go into your dev environment or production environment and you schedule them. So breaking down, not having the entire big project structure in a one directory or something like that. Instead, breaking down things into smaller directories and all that will help you work in an agile way. And today you see 95% of the project or the companies, they work in agile way. This waterfall model or the big bang approach is a thing of past now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why we need a good project structure. Now let's go. We'll try to create this. I'll give you the use case. What we are going to try to create. Okay, so what we will do is we will take two environments. Okay, one is a production environment, one is a development environment. Okay, and what we are going to do is we are going to create VPC. Okay, I forgot to put a subnet in this diagram. Yeah, it is there. Sorry, I did it.
Yeah.
So we are going to create VPC. Within VPC, we'll have a public subnet. In the public subnet, we'll be deploying a EC2 box. Okay, and
Yeah.
we'll create a S3 bucket in our cloud. Okay, for every environment, there would be a dev environment and there would be a production environment. Okay, so what we'll do is we are going to write reusable configuration code for each of these components. Okay, then we would deploy we'll write configuration for dev environment and production environment, and we will provision the resources for two different environments. And we'll see what we'll do is we'll create a smaller VPC for dev, a bigger VPC for production. We'll provision a smaller EC2 instance for dev and a bigger EC2 instance for production. And then similarly, maybe bucket will be same for both of them. So that's the use case which we will be doing for a project structure. Okay, does that
Yep.
make sense, Anand?
Yep.
Sounds
Yep.
good. Okay, so now let me take you how would it look like. Okay, so what the way it would look like is, on top we'll have our project directory. Okay, so first we are going to do our modules. Okay, and we would create a VPC module. We'll create a reusable VPC code. We'll create reusable EC2 instance code, and we'll create reusable bucket code. Okay, everything should be reusable, right? So the same
Yep.
code we will call from dev as well as production. Okay, now if you remember modular programming, okay, if you remember the Terraform modules which we discussed other day, to make resources configurable, we have to use the concept of variables, right?
All
So
right.
in the VPC, the reusable code what I will have for VPC over there, whatever possible, let's say the CIDR blocks of VPC or the name of the VPC, those things I'll make it configurable. Okay, which would be passed while the reusable code, while the module will be called from the dev instance, a dev environment or the production environment. Similarly for EC2, okay, I have missed the subnet here. I'll have to put in the subnet. Similarly for the subnet, we'll create a subnet.tf and we'll parameterize the CIDR blocks again there, and which VPC are we going to provision the subnet. The subnet would be provisioned within a VPC, right? So that also
Yep.
will parameterized, and then all those parameters, they would be defined in the variable.tf, and this variable.tf will be existing at the same level where my reusable code would be there. Okay,
Yep.
yesterday we did an example, right, where I took two variable.tf, one which would be at the level of the reusable code, okay, which will contain the definition of all the variables which are used in the reusable code, and there will be
Mm-hmm.
also variable.tf which will be there at application level or the environment level. Those would be for, let's say, your any resource which any variable which is used to connect to AWS or something which is not being used as a reusable code for them, it will be there. Okay, so here the variable definition of the VPC or the reusable code of the AWS instance and the reusable code of the bucket, whatever variables would be there, they would be put in respective variable.tf files in their directories. Okay,
Yes.
once
Yep.
that is done, okay, then we would have our environments, and we'll have two environments as I showed in this use case, right? We'll have dev and we'll have production. Accordingly, we'll have two environments, dev and prod. And over there, we'll have a main.tf. Okay. This main.tf will not contain any configuration. It will only contain modules. Okay. Which will be calling these, the reusable codes. Okay. It will have a module to call the bucket. It will have a module to call the EC2 instance, and it will have a module to call the VPC,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
similarly, we'll have production. Over there, we'll have a main.tf, which will be configured with modules to call the bucket, EC2 and VPC. Okay, and their respective variable.tf. These variable.tf will not contain the definition of the variables which are used here. It
Mm-hmm.
may contain the variables like the access key, access ID, all those things which are not part of the reusable code. Okay, there would be
Yep.
variable.tf which would be taking care of that. Okay,
Yep.
then once we are done here, all the configuration, we would we would instantiate Terraform from within the dev, from within the prod. Okay, and once we instantiate, we will see these would be creating the dev and the prod resources as per these configurable variables which we have set up. Okay,
Yes.
right?
Where does the
Yeah.
Terraform.tf vars comes into the picture here? Are we using it?
Terraform.tf vars. Yeah, this will be coming into picture if I'll tell you when it will come into picture. Let me show you, right? Let me take you to the modular programming, the demo which we had done. Fine. So tools modules demo. Okay. Now, so what happens is, you see here, this is our previous demo which we did, right? I'm
Yeah.
showing you that. Let me see. I have a main.tf in common bucket. So this is okay. So here you see the bucket name, okay, and public private. This has been parameterized, okay, and its definition is here. Provider is sorry is here at variable.tf at a generic level,
Yeah.
right? So now when I call this, what I do is I go to a specific application. I'll go inside app1, and here from within app1, the Terraform configuration file, what I do is I call module, and I am directly passing the values. Okay, right?
Yep.
If you don't want to pass these values hard coding way, okay, even from your ground level, okay,
Okay.
you don't want to do that. Let's say public read, I want to use a variable here. I want to change it to a variable dollar var dot, let's say, what was it, any say, I'll name it as var1, okay, var11 I'll name it, okay. If I'm taking this way, now where will this variable be defined? Okay, it's coming from within app1. So here I need another variable.tf. Okay, here I would need another variable.tf. This variable.tf will contain the definition of
The var one and
var11, right? I have named var11, var11. Oh yeah, and it will be type of string. Okay, now once this is done, now I can pass this value of var11 from my runtime, or I can create a tfvars here again. Let me go back. Array, I'm a very big copy paste guy. Terraform tfvars from here. So what I can do is okay, got it. So
okay.
now, yeah, so even from my granular level execution, where I would be where I would be executing the Terraform plan or Terraform apply, I would be doing it from within app1, right?
App one, right. Yeah.
Right. So when I do that, okay, till yesterday what I was doing is I was when I used to call this, when I used to write the module definition, I was hard coding the values inside the
Right.
module. Okay, so even here I don't want to hard code them. I want to take them from a configuration file. How will I do that? In that case, what I would do is I can use a tfvars again at this level.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yep.
all about variable substitution.
Okay. Okay. So the Terraform.tf vars are the, yeah, it's the same thing, it's the input. Yeah. Yeah. So then what is the difference between variable.tf and Terraform.tf?
variable.tf and terraform.tf. Terraform.tf, sorry,
Because the variable.tf the same
variable.tf,
thing, right? You define the
variable.tf,
variable and then you call the
which two
variable.
files? Wait a second, wait a second. Which two files you are talking about?
Yeah,
Terraform.tf vars and variable.tf. These two
correct.
files, right?
Yeah,
Variable.tf contains the definition of the variable, like
okay.
it is a string, the declaration of variable, sorry, the declaration
Uh,
of the variable or the definition
okay.
of the variable. TF-vars provides a value to that variable.
Yep, yep. I think I got it now.
Understood?
Yeah. I think,
So variables.tf, if you put a default in the
yep,
variable definition, you put a default and put a value, in that case, even if you remove TF-vars, it's okay.
correct.
Okay. TF-vars is one of the way in which I can provide value to my variable. Okay.
Yes,
I can decide to avoid using TF-vars. I can provide the value from during runtime from my command line.
correct.
Or if I don't do that, I execute the command during the runtime. From the console, it will be asking me for each and every variable value. I can go on putting the value. So
Yeah.
TF-vars is one of the way to provide the value to the Terraform.
Yep. I got it now.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
great, great. Fine. So if that clears, and you, okay, and you, I hope you understand the way, you understood the use case, right, which we are going to implement the
Yes.
project
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is
all
like I
this
complete.
file structure, whatever I have, yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty good on this. Yeah.
Okay, so
So
let's
here
move to
in
the
this
demo, right?
structure, the
Okay, I have a,
variables will
yeah,
play the key role, and the modules we are trying to have um, the code in a modular way. That way we can have a reusability. That's what we are trying
yeah,
to do it here. And in this, we are trying to
correct,
create like
correct.
two new VPCs and two subnets and two different buckets. However, we are going to create one dev completely, and then probably we just manage with the variables to deploy it in prod. That's, I think, the scope of the demo.
Yeah, so what, yes, 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 that's true. That's what
Because
we
we
are
do
going to do.
completely
So we
on
are going
dev.
to write one configurable.
Yeah,
So we write one configurable piece of code for every resource. Okay.
yeah,
Then using the modules, I call from dev, I call from prod.
yep,
Okay. So again, I'll tell you. Okay. So project structures may differ from organization to organization.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. This is one of the best, one of the good structures which I'm showing. Some people, what they may do, that they may want to do is they will not have two modules calling, uh, one second. So two modules. Yeah. So they may decide not to have two modules, not to have two dev and prod modules. They will have only one at the end. Then they will just play around with the tf-vars files. They will maintain two different tf-vars file. Okay, and they will go on executing. They will execute. So what I mean to say is, you see here, I have a dev, I have a prod. Two directories would be there. Inside them, dev has main.tf, prod has main.tf. From this main.tf, I will be calling VPC EC2 bucket. The same modules I'll be calling from dev. The same modules I'll be calling from production. Okay, and I'll pass different configurable values. Okay, some organizations, what they would do is they would leave this dev and prod. They will have only one here, and they will have multiple copies of tf-vars somewhere in git or somewhere, and they will have their developers instructed one tf-vars for dev, one tf-vars for production, and they are going to execute this piece of code multiple times. Once they will use the tf-vars file of dev, and they will execute that. Once they will use the TF-vars of production, they will use that. Let me try to put it in a better way. Let me use a paint or something. Let me explain what I'm saying. I know this is little confusing. Okay. First, you tell me, Anand, you understood this, right? You understood this one, which I'm showing here
Yes,
on the screen.
correct.
You understood
So
this, right? Okay.
on the broader
So
level,
now
the
what I will
modules
do
are
is,
generic, and uh, when we deploy in dev or prod, we manage through the variable.tf in this structure, right? So that is where we call the module based on the requirement. That is what the current scope
yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yes. So what I showed, if here what I'm doing is, I have one set of modules defined, and I'm calling those modules from dev and from prod. Okay. But if I go back to my previous example, I did the same thing, but instead of dev and prod, I did it for two different applications.
yeah,
Okay. And may be these two applications may be in dev and prod both. So what I will do is, instead of creating dev and prod two directories, what I will do is, these tf-vars are there, right? These tf-vars. Okay.
yeah,
I will check in them in Git at two different locations. One for my development, one for my production, where these TF-vars will have different values. Okay, two different TF-vars. Okay, it will have public read for my development, it will have private for my production, and it will be checked in at different location in Git. And I'll write my program in such a way. In Jenkins, I'll be writing some loops or something in such a way that when you select development, you get the TF-vars file from your development branch or your development location wherever you have kept, and you call and you call the Terraform code with that particular file. When you do production, you take the production from another branch, and production branch or another location where you have the production TF-vars file, and you execute that. So let me open a paint for you and I'll explain that. So these are as per different use, like the certain organizations, they try to do things differently. Okay, so what
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
is, okay, I will have these, my Terraform files are there, right? My Terraform files are there in Git. I have checked in somewhere, right? My TF files. Okay, so this contains your, I should make this a little bigger. Da, 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 da. This contains my modules, and as I told you, I have dev. Okay, so these are my modules, and as I told you, I have a section for dev. Okay, I have a section for prod. Okay, and what I'm doing is, in current example which I showed you, okay, I will be calling the modules, the reusable codes from dev and prod. Uh, I'll just write, I'll not do any configuration in the TF files within these two directories. I'll just use modules. This is one way of doing. Another
mhm,
way is, what I will do is, I'll not have dev prod, two different things. Okay,
okay,
okay. I'll just have one, this programming module, and I'll have only one target instance, only one granular level where I'll be executing. This is the common one. Okay, this is common for dev and prod, everything. Okay, now what differentiates my dev from production? That would be the values, right? This
yeah,
will also call the modules, Okay, so so it would be used instead of hard coding. The way you asked me what is the uses of tfvars, here I can use tfvars and I can maintain two different copies of tfvars. Okay, one and two. Okay, I'll have two copies of tfvars with different values. Okay, this may have the EC2 instance class value as T3 small. This may have the EC2 instance class value as M4G. Okay, M4 large. Okay, what I will do is my Git is there, right? My my Git would be there where I save my configuration code. Okay, always remember the state files won't go into Git. Okay, but others we can store it. We have to store in Git my configurations and everything. You also
Yeah.
must be storing in Git, right? Your
Correct.
configuration files, the
Yes.
Terraform files. So Git is there, right?
Yeah.
What I will do
Correct.
is I'll have a development branch and a production branch in Git. Okay. This is my dev. This is my production branch. What I will do is now this file, okay, I'm going to store in production, and this
Yeah.
file I'm going to put it in the dev. Okay. Now, now when before I execute my Terraform, right, in Jenkins or somewhere, I'll have my configuration in such a way, my download logic in such a way that it will fetch sorry, yeah, it will fetch when you do dev, when you do a dev deployment, it will fetch all the details from this branch.
Correct.
When you do a production, sorry, when you do a prod deployment, it will fetch all the details from this branch. When you do a develop deployment, it will fetch all the details from this branch. Okay, so the tfvars file will differ now.
Yes.
Whatever you are doing a production deployment, it will come up M4 large. You do a execution from here, it will give you M4 large system. Okay, not only M4 large, this tfvars, this set of tfvars would be containing even the uh, what do you say, even the credentials to connect to the prod server where the deployment will happen. When you select development, it will download the files from the dev area of Git. Okay, and from the same place it will execute, but just because I have a different tfvars file, okay, and I have a different tfstate file, okay, it will do a deployment on a different account and the resource capacity and everything would be different. So this
Yeah.
is again another way of doing things.
Correct.
Okay, so different projects, different organizations, different way of doing things. So we will look into one of the best ways of doing thing,
Yep.
that is this way, which we are looking now, and this is the most accepted one. Usually people go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Understood. Yeah.
so yeah, that's it. So now let's go ahead. Shall we go ahead with the demo? Shall
Yes,
we
please.
start
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
the files and everything?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, we'll do project structure. Okay. Today is, let's say, session 6B, right? I'll create a folder. Okay, session 6B will have, okay, enter session 6B. Okay, first we'll create modules. Okay, then in parallel to modules, I'll have my environments. Okay, let me go back. What we have, I have modules. In parallel to module, I have environment. Under environment, I'll be having dev and prod. Okay, let me go back here. Modules. This would be environment. Okay, within environment, I'll have my dev environment and I'll have my prod environment. Then within modules, what do we have? Let's go back. We'll have we'll have a directory for every component, like for every entity. VPC is a networking entity. EC2 instance will be my compute entity. Bucket would be my storage entity. Okay, so we would start provisioning them, right? So
Yeah,
we can
and
further go
then
on dividing, right? We can have one for security. We
yeah,
can have for one for security group. We can have for subnets. Okay, I forgot the subnet thing. Let me
but this is
what I have to do
understandable
is
because
it okay
all
if I
the
club subnet
components,
and
correct. Yeah, yeah. So the private subnet, public
okay,
subnet, if you want to, use like ingress and outgress, so those things we can put it. But the picture wise, I think this looks good to me
yeah,
because those are just the components, right? So the services as we need it. If we need an RDS, that will come again,
mm,
uh, under the
yeah,
module.
in
Yeah,
parallel to this
correct.
yeah, correct.
So those are the
After
services, right?
bucket I will have to introduce one more.
Okay.
Yes,
Only, yeah, this structure looks to
okay,
me. So project structure demo is our like a specific like a section 6B demo under the, maybe we can rename that. Under then we can say like a modules and environments are the subfolders, and then we have another five subfolders here like VPC, EC2, bucket,
yeah,
and dev and prod will go
EC2
to the
instance,
same
yes,
level. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah,
environments over there it will go in.
yeah.
Okay, so chalo, glad you got the things. Let's go ahead. So now, Anand, at least, so with these things and all, you are able to relate to your code, right?
Yes, yes. I did. See, that's what I want to
Great.
map like this. I never mapped like this, because I mean, see, um, it's like known of all, master in none, right? That's my situation. I know a little bit, but I confuse
Yeah.
somewhere and then I stop it. Okay, this is not the. And then when I'm trying to read
See,
something, people will come. Yeah,
at your level, it will be the case, Anand. See, you have to manage multiple people. Now, you cannot dig deep into every technology,
correct.
right? You
And
have
other
to
thing, I
manage.
don't
Some
know
days you have
how
to manage
how.
database.
Yeah, yeah. And see, database securities, people will be, see, when you deal with the different teams, the problems are completely different. See, yesterday I got one request.
Yeah.
That request was, we don't manage a role, and they want to, add that role to my S3 bucket. I don't know that as per, because
Hmm.
I don't know that there is a restriction like, once if I don't manage a role, I don't add that role because we don't know what that role is
Hmm.
doing. So, but by mistake,
Yeah.
I was trying to add that, then one of the managers said, hey, this we don't manage this role, so don't add it. This is, those are, that goes like a meetings, decisions. It is not like a technical again,
Yeah.
is, the securities and all, it's like, compliance with the companies as well. Yeah, but this structure I need to
Yeah,
draw it
exactly.
in
So
my
that's what I'm
project.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do. Did I share slide 6 with you, or I didn't? I don't remember. I
I
think
didn't get none
I
of
shared
them.
slide 6 also. Yeah.
Maybe they shared, I missed it. I
Hmm?
That's what I can talk to those support guys. They might know, but
No,
usually
they
I get an email,
last.
right?
Yeah, you talk to them. Talk to them. So
Yeah.
no, they said me they would be uploading it into your portal. That's what I got. That's why I heard. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't seen I haven't seen your side of the world where how do you get the resources? I know how do I share.
Yeah.
I send email, they upload it into your portal, they say, and from your portal you can download that. That's
Correct.
what they
Correct.
say.
Definitely. Yeah. I think
So
they
you
did
can
it
just check
one
with
time.
them.
Yeah. I know for sure I'll do that because now I'm trying to
Yeah,
grab
because
everything as much as I can.
I have already
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I have got a response from them saying that they have already shared with you. That's what.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. So
Definitely,
what
I
I was
think
doing
they.
is I was creating the structures, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Good, they're doing a good job, but
So
I
now
maybe it's my
as
yeah.
yeah, okay. So yeah, so environments we did, we were doing modules. Within module, I told we have drawn. Now we will do all the reusable components. We have VPC. Now let's say we do a subnet. Okay. Let's say we do a security group. We do a bucket. Okay. We do EC2. Oh, I'll name it as instance. Okay. So every reusable code I'm going to put in here, right? I'll do the configuration for them. Fine. And let's start with the VPC. Okay. So let's start with the VPC. Now let me pull out a VPC code. I have okay. So I would have, I'll remove this name, it doesn't look professional. vpc.tf is
Yeah.
good. So I have a vpc.tf here. What I would do is, right, I have, okay. So I have put, okay. Let me remove this. Give me a moment. So vpc.tf, subnet. Subnet.tf. So this is the bare minimum configuration required for my VPC. Now I need a CIDR block, okay, instant tenancy, and then name of the VPC. Okay, so what I would do is instant tenancy, I leave it as default. So let's say, for example, in your organization, you have a rule that you can create only default VPCs where you have this shared tenancy. Okay, shared tenancy, multi-tenancy is used. Okay, your organization is more inclined towards cost saving.
Mhm.
Or in other way, let's say you have an organization where you are more inclined towards security. You need a dedicated VPC. You need a VPC where no other, like you, it would be put on a resource where no other organization would have their resources. Okay.
Yep.
In that case, you go for a dedicated tenancy, right? So here
Yep.
what you do is you don't want anyone to create any other type of VPC. Okay, in that case, this one you will not keep it as reusable. Okay, this one you will just leave it hard coded. Okay, so that no one should be able to create different type. So but my VPC, when I create, I can change the CIDR blocks, right? I will use a variable here. Sorry, dollar var dot sorry cider range. Okay, I used a variable. Okay, my name would be dollar var dot vpc underscore name. Okay, so I have two variables. Now what I need is a variable.tf files here where I'll have the definition of those two variables, right?
Yep.
Let me pick up a variable.tf file from here. Tools. This way. What are the things I need here? I would need a cider range, which is a string type. A cider range, which is a string type. I would need a VPC name, which is a string type, and I'll not need anything else. Got it? So
Yep.
what the variable.tf at the level of reusable code contain? It will contain the vpc.tf. So now we'll go to the next module and let's go to the subnet group. Okay, I have subnet.tf. This is my subnet code. Okay, similarly, I have VPC ID. Okay, okay. I have cider block. I have availability zone. Okay, and I have the name. Okay, now here everything is configurable, right? I should this VPC ID. It completely depends on this VPC's return value, right?
Yep.
Hitting me?
Yes.
Okay, this VPC ID would depend on this VPC's return value. So similarly, we'll have to parameterize this. Okay, give me a moment, please. I think I'm getting a call. Yeah, what was? Okay, I'll quickly discuss this one, Anand. Then I think I'll have to drop off. I need to get
Sure. So
into
what we can do is we will
call.
stop here and we go this starting the code changes next class. That should be fine to me. So that I because so that we are clear. We talked about the project structure and now we started from VPC
Yeah,
from the next class. I'm good with that. Yeah. So
yeah.
that way we go with the
Okay.
one more time. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Really sorry, Anand. Today was a
Hey,
like
no,
huge
even me too.
disturbance.
After
Like I got
9:30, the
deleted
pings
from
will
this
start. Even I don't know when I'll disconnect too because people are, but that should be fine. I completely understand because this is, we're doing a
yeah,
great job here. So we will definitely go to the coding level in the next tomorrow morning, like your
okay,
evening,
great, great.
my
So
next class. Yeah,
yeah, sure. Let's catch up tomorrow. Yeah, you
appreciate
you
it.
you can please get in touch with the support people and see. I have already shared the resources. You can take a look. At least
Yep,
please go through the modular programming one so that it
yep,
helps the thing. Okay,
yep,
fine.
yep. Yeah,
And yeah,
thanks.
Anand, have a good day ahead, please. We'll
Yeah,
catch up tomorrow. Okay,
sure. Thanks
thank
then. Yeah.
you.